Here we go. Hold up. We did a comment. We did a comment. We good? Comment if you can. It should be working. It should be working. Yes. Can y'all comment? Or am I tripping? Is it not working? Okay. You can. You all can't comment. Okay. I was asking. GFS weird how storm south. Don't look into that too much. Y'all. I know y'all like to look at specifics on these model runs, but you can't. Um, you just can't. There are certain things when you know what you're looking for and you can know how to decipher that information. But you guys gotta realize, the GFS is not gonna nail the rain snow line on a specific model run 3 to 4 days out. That's just not gonna happen. So you gotta limit your expectations in regards to that a little bit. But I like what I'm seeing from a lot of this zero Z. I'm not seeing major changes in terms of, the overall, to the pieces of the system that are there. Now the evolution, how that happens, we're gonna keep seeing changes for the next couple days, or probably until the storm happens, to be honest. You're gonna keep seeing it. I've only seen one person comment. Is it Let me just check. It's not like you guys need to if you're fine just not saying it, that's okay, but I just wanna make sure you have the option. So if you can comment, please do. Just wanna make sure it's working okay. But overall with the GFS, um, I thought it was a little bit. What did I think, actually? Let me go back. Let me a little bit towards me. Alright, I'm worried you guys can't come. Okay, you can? Okay, well, I just thank you. Okay. It had me worried there. It's not like you guys got a comment. I got concerned. I got concerned. I've had some previous past history for any of you that watched some of those couple first games. But, one thing I noticed with GFS, it's really minor. Um, it's a little bit more elongated, the Vort Max. So I'm saying that I'm talking right here, right? This is a little bit more, it's not as rounded up. Um, but that's minor. That's really minor, in the grand scheme of things. But what I do notice is one thing I did like about and this is probably why the GFS, um, it wasn't too you didn't see, the impacts. There's a couple of reasons. There's there's a there's a couple of reasons why you're seeing what you see on, the GFS. A, I can check. It clearly wants to develop the upper level low right here. It's almost a mini it's not, but it clearly wants to develop the upper level low. And look what's happening. I mean, this is just a mess convective mess over here. So what you really want to look for, let me turn this up a couple notches. and it's a convective mess. It's a convective mess, and also and that's why you don't get a really good consolidation. But on the other hand, if you look at the model run, you're right, you see how everything's a little bit tight, wound up. The convection gets on that run happen to get more wound up into the upper level low, and you notice it just doesn't ramp up. It's not like it's even that worse of a stream interaction. It's not, right? This barely pulls back slightly, but you still have a pretty solid stream interaction. But it's like linear, it just doesn't want to help to form that upper level low fast enough in the GFS, right? But if you take a look though, I think it was the 78 or the 84 previous run. You notice this is held back a little bit more. This is held back a little bit more, and yet this keeps running away. This keeps running away, and eventually it latches on. And here's why I know some people maybe didn't understand why I said I like it, because look, it really does want to develop that upper level low, right? It sheds all this up and then ends up, but it sheds so much convection so early on that it doesn't happen until offshores where it really, really gets going. Actually, it gets going pretty well in eastern nights as well, but it sheds so much. And it doesn't wrap around where it wants to. Look, you're almost getting another snake-tongue feature that's want to develop here, right? So just pull this back a little bit longer, right? And it's more complex. There's more things that go into that. But the reason why I think that can happen is all the convective feedback issues in the problems GFS, right? That's still a mess, right? It's gonna want to latch onto an upper level low somewhere, and it really just takes time. And then, I mean, here you get this. An upper level low in that location is absolutely gonna dump snow back here in the Eastern Mass on that specific run, and that's what happens. That's what happens on this model run. So, and you're just again, there's a reason why you're a few frames too late, right? If we're still a few frames too late and it's the night before, then maybe then this thing really isn't. And even then, you get a really solid snowstorm for a lot of people in Southern New England, Hudson Valley, Northern Jersey, PA. Um, but again, the earlier we drop we get that consolidation to happen a little bit earlier, that will allow that. And also, right, partly why also is, right, this is a little bit less held back, so it maybe has just a little bit too much elongation, which means it allows this to go out easier, if that makes sense. So instead of holding this back, even though this piece does hold back a little bit more, it actually works against it just in the specifics of the um, so we hold in theory, though, we hold this back. We amplify this a little bit more, and also but at the same time, we're letting it out a little bit more, or in theory, we hold this back just a little bit. The ceiling for the storm goes up dramatically. The ceiling the ceiling goes up dramatically for the system for a lot of people, for a lot of people. I don't wanna say some people are sleeping on this, but there are definitely some people that are sleeping in terms of the potential. Now, there's one thing for it to be potential, but potential has to be lived up to, right? It's one thing to say a team can be really, really good. It's another thing for that team to be really, really good, right? It's a little bit different what because whatever happens, happens, right? Um, but you guys gotta understand how we can get certain things to happen. I mean, it ends up being a beast of a system, right? The GFS ends up topping that thing it almost gets into the 970s, or even maybe does. How does the There's no reason. If you guys could see my face right now, my head, my mouth is so close to the mic, so close. So I'm trying. Also even closer to the mic. No, let me try this too. Let me know if this does anything. Is this too loud now? Is this too sensitive, or does it get better quality? Let me know. But we'll keep going. The Canadian. So the GFS is still a hit for a lot of people, but also it's a near miss from being something big. It's also a near miss from being something really big. Um, so it's something to keep in mind, and some of the issues that need to be resolved that we're looking for. Okay, that's better. That's awesome. I might have accidentally turned it down. That's hearing all different things. Yeah, there's a lot. There's I'm sure you are, because there's a lot of people trying to work out models right now, and that's ideally where I specialize in. I'm not better than anybody else. I just that's what I try to focus on. Is it was on, I'm wrong plenty of times, but that is what I try to focus on, is trying to be accurate and try to figure out all that model noise and what that means for our end result. That's really all I try to do, and that's what where you try to assess the threat if we have it early, and then from there you try to figure out what all those different model runs are gonna mean in the grand scheme of things, right? All this is all relative. The only right, everything I break down, my purpose behind it is to give you guys how we can get the end result. And obviously, we wanna hope for getting snow, right? But if I don't think the forecast is gonna do that, I'm not just gonna blindly say that it is, right? But the 99% of you are on this right now because you guys love snow. You wanna figure out how can your location get snow. Alright, I'm in a good spot for this time. I'm not worrying all too much right now. So I'm not really all too concerned. I don't need to make some sort of biased forecast, and in general, I'm not gonna do that either. But I wanna give you guys what I can. And also, I like looking at all these different models because 'cause I'm gonna be doing it anyways. I already have. So Canadian, let's slide this back a little bit just to rewind. I liked what I saw in the beginning. Did I? At least I thought I did. Right, still a little bit of a mess, but had a little bit more amplification. A little bit more amplification of the main level it looked like in the beginning. Kinda sheds off a lot. Some of this even gets caught going really far north here. So it's interesting. It's definitely having some problems, but you can see it's a much more well consolidated upper level low. But you can kind of see it's taken whole north really. So it's a little bit of an interesting dynamic from that aspect when you look at it from 500. Um, you take a look at the difference. So you get a better stream interaction here between this piece, which will slow down the system towards the end for Southern New England. But uh, it just the upper level low doesn't quite consolidate as well as it did in the previous run. It's a little bit smaller. It's right, you see it a little bit bigger, an upper level low there, right? But there's more stream separation as well. Here you get a little bit more stream separation, and it's just a little bit too far out in front. Right, ideally, we'd like to see this um, really wrapped up right in here to get a lot of people snow, right? Because right over that upper level low is not going to do it, right? You want to be just north of the upper level low, right? And but when you get a snake tongue look, it's a little bit different, right? You want to be right in the middle of the snake tongue, the mini snake tongue right there, and that's why that's why Massachusetts dumped on that run for the Canadian, right? And that earlier for it not getting going like it was on that last run, right? So it looked like it was going to be a little bit more amplified in the beginning. Plus that stream separation allows us to take off more earlier on. So you want a little bit of stream separation early on. But if you really want to maximize the potential, you're eventually, I think we're going to want this piece to kick in and this hold back just enough. And if we get a combination of those things, that's how you can really maximize this potential, not only for mid-Atlantic places, or I consider this Northeast, but you get what I'm saying here for places like Philly, to Central, in North Jersey, into New York City. This is how you really wanna maximize your snow potential. Um, it is right, you want that early, you want that upper level low to wrap up. Sure. How is my I swear, I'm telling you guys, I'm talking as close as I can until maybe the mic's broken. I have to get a new one. I'm trying. So, yeah, so that's why you see what you see on the Canadian. Go we'll go here, and oh, this is something I did wanna show you guys. Um, here we go. We're not gonna open this? Fine, we'll go here. Continental, East, because 'cause I'm seeing a lot of temperature talk. So, even though we're still trying to figure out the upper level low and the evolution of that, but we'll look at it. Yeah, it's still a pretty powerful upper level low, by the way. I mean, look at that thing. That dump snow. You look at 700, 700 is beautiful, beautiful. That's just dumping heavy snow. Heavy, heavy snow in here. Heavy, heavy, heavy snow. But, I don't know if the key will show what I want it to. Maybe it will. Not as well. I feel like this GFS showed it. Let me go here. Is this? Yes. Alright, part of it, right, the storm, when you get to the back half of the storm anyways, is it makes it harder. Um, you're gonna get colder. You're gonna get colder. But you can see, right, as you can see how those temperatures in the Atlantic, right, as this cold pulls away, obviously you're gonna get colder, and you can kinda see it rain snow line there. You look like Jersey, probably right about where that rain snow line is, all the way up. It's gonna be clear, right? It's gonna be a sharp cutoff. It's gonna be rain to snow, right? It's not gonna be, rain, freezing rain, sleet, snow. It's gonna be a sharp cutoff whenever that is. But the earlier and the stronger you wrap this up, the more cold air you see how much cold air you really start to pull in? And obviously, you're pulling further away and you're going nighttime, but you really see how much you see it as that storm starts, you see as it wraps up here, and now you're just pulling in cold air, right? So if you wrap this up right here, right, now you're pulling in cold air further south, and now you're snowing to the coast on the backside of this thing, and that applies for here too, right? So you get this thing, right? This the ideal track you want of the upper level low, and I can't guarantee anything, is something like that, right? So just north, and you really get this to intensify, right? And your surface low is a little bit to the southeast, wherever the track of the upper level low is. So now at this point, now you're pulling in this cold air. You're gonna get heavier snow banding as well with a stronger system, and you're also or with just a more organized system, right? You're gonna get tighter banding, stronger banding, and result, you get higher snowfall totals, etc. Right? That's how you do that. right? Same thing applies here a little bit. You just there's um, it will be harder for you to maximize this like you will in Southern New England. That doesn't mean you still can't pull in a little bit more cold air, like, especially in Hudson Valley, even New York City, potentially. That's how you could get, um, some snow along with being on the front end too, for New York City. Hearing all different things on our forecast. What is our forecast? But let's take I haven't looked at those yet. Jesus, am I slow? Come on. Drop questions as you wish. I'll answer them, I promise. Oh, I want the Jets. Who's wrong? I like I think I like that. I definitely like that. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Come to papa. You see how everything gets held back more. Everything gets held back, right? It's hard to tell on this, but that means the mean of the ensemble members, the mean of adjusting this gets held back more. And now instead of being a little bit less elongated, we're consolidating more of this convection back towards here. I I really like the look of that, at least at first. We can take a look at some of these things, but I'm less concerned, and that is gonna correlate too. Notice our surface slopes, how much more they're tilting back west. Ooh, this is tweetable. This is tweetable. We're gonna tweet this on the stream here. We're gonna tweet this on the stream. That is such a beautiful look from the Jets. That's maybe the best run to run and shift I think I've seen yet with the Jets. I haven't even looked at any of that snowfall stuff. That's the best run to run shift I've seen in the Jets. And, uh, um, so what am I gonna use here? Alright, so we're already here, so might as well copy image. Let's go. We'll go to tweet, let's post. Yes, that's what I want. And then add this here. Sorry, Dan. Philly? What about Philly? Like, is Philly in play? Or is Philly better on these runs? What about Philly? Okay. I'm gonna add in 500 now and go right into here. Oh, sweet havens, that's so much better. That is so much freaking better. Me gusta. One more. Will Monmouth County see any snow? I think you got a shot. I think you got a shot in Monmouth. It's complicated as I've explained, and we're really that ranks in the line is really gonna be tough to tag down until we get to the real specifics. We get to the nitty-gritty in a couple days, so you're gonna be on order for a lot of this stuff. Um, so it'll be tough. I think you can get you have a chance at solvable snow. I would lean away from it, but you're definitely at play for accumulating snow for sure. Alright, can I tweet what I want now? I have no idea what this is gonna look like right here. I can always edit it too. Really gonna look like that? Or am I tripping? Oh, okay. That looks fine. That looks fine. But yeah, I mean, this Jeff's how am I feeling about is next week's no is I'm saying possibly. Actually, we'll look at that at the end of the stream. I promise we'll look at that at the end of the stream. Because that did spike my curiosity today. That is gonna depend a lot on location and high pressure. The simple answer. Possible. How do I feel about southeastern coastal Connecticut? Um, Rhode Island line. Um, I know a lot of people are talking about ocean temperature. I kind of addressed that a few minutes ago. I think a lot of people can make that really. I think a lot of people in the South coastline, especially interior, um, I think these folks can make it better. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little skeptical. Right? Whenever you have an east wind and water temperature is 40 degrees or so, it does concern a little bit. But if you're really snowing heavily, that's not gonna matter all that much. That's what I have to say about that. If you're dumping snow, right, you're gonna cool the column and you're gonna get really good snow. So people that are concerned about that, those issues get resolved if you're dumping snow. So and you'll get half decent ratios too. So you're not gonna get complete dog crap ratios. You're gonna get actual decent ratios. And one thing I really like about the Jeffs, you can see, like, I mean, just that's what you want. That is what you want. That is very much so. Notice too notice a little bit more stream interaction between here as well. Right, so that piece, I still need to look further depth with that, but that the variations, have led to some different results that, I get caught, just trying to look at how this piece and this piece are connected. But damn, that is a really I mean, what you wanted to see from the Jets is what we got. That is so much what we want to see. I mean, look at that run change. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. That is a great trend. 3 run. I consider you've gotta be at least 3. Typically, 4 is what I look at for a trend for something, but 3 mini trend. That's what you like to see, right there, there. That is exactly what you wanna see. So we can look at the snows and the snow stuff. I don't value this too much, but I always like seeing, what they show, and that looks more, uh, that's gotta be more. Yep, look at that. Yeah, that's another post right there. Have to, have to, have to. Look at that. S Let's take a look at the 6 props too. So I might wanna throw that onto that tweet as well. Right there. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Big jump. Big jump, right? And typically, when you have a model that's making big jumps and forth, you do want all the models to be on board at the same time, runs to be on board. So that's why you do wanna see, with a lot of these model runs. That's what you want. It looks to me, at least, the 0 Z looks like a sweet spot. I mean, I was just gonna look at those before I looked at the probabilities. But we can look at that snowfall as well, right? And again, I don't. Let me preface these by saying I don't look too far into them, but I do monitor them a little bit. But I know the scenarios that what it's going to lead to for the snowfall total. So that's why I don't look at it, and that's why I don't post a lot of snowfall maps. Yeah. And the reason you see that is because Southern New England can maximize more snow than anybody here, but notice how it's more snow, right? It's not just a lot more here, you maximize more across, right? You hold that energy back more and you consolidate that upper level low sooner. You wrap in more moisture, right? So you're gonna get heavier snowfall, a little bit colder temps as well, and you're just getting an overall all around better scenario to get larger or significant snowfall. Why you guys looking up. So, I mean, this is my point here. Take a look. I mean, this Zero Z Jeffs was beautiful. Yeah, so given that it really takes some of these model runs are wrapping it up a little bit more offshore, that's why your heaviest snowfalls are back into here. And you'll also probably get a chance for coastal enhancement at the end when you're gonna have colder air and above 40-degree water. So you have temps in the 20s. That is something actually now that I just put together, that will be an interesting something to look at the end of this storm. It's a real smaller mesoscale feature that we'll be to look at. But Eastern Mass, Central and Eastern Mass, or more East Central and Eastern Mass, probably not out here. I guess it's possible. It's possible. But when you have this right warmer water, right, we're gonna have 40-degree temps in our ocean water. And if we look towards the end of this storm, notice what our temps are gonna be. This is an interesting. No, just give me surface. Yeah. I don't know how well this works. Right, this is towards the end of the storm, and you have temps there in the 20s. You have temps in the 20s, right? That's the difference there in Celsius. Well, I can't do that math. So, but you look for a 13-degree difference in Celsius. So I think you look for from 850 down to, so let's look at 850 actually. -7, and then you have water temps. Ooh, I can do that math. That's close to about -13. So when you have temps that are that cold, you get an opportunity, right? You look for when you look at lake effect and ocean effects, you're looking for that minus about a 13-degree difference between 850 and all the way down to the surface, in that case, the water temperature, right? To create convection. But when you have some moisture to work with already, right, and you already have some convection, I'm hoping this is making sense. My point is there is a chance for some coastal enhancement with the storm, 100%. Um, if we're gonna see temperatures get into the 20s, low 20s um, for Central and Eastern Mass, there's definitely gonna be an opportunity for some coastal enhancement. So that is something that is we can look at as well once we get closer. For now, though, just figuring out some of this big picture stuff, and then we can really start honing in on specifics over the next once we get within about 48 hours. I feel like I missed some questions. All the local policies keep talking about oceans. Yeah. Yeah, I they can focus on that, but I just said if it's snowing heavy enough, ocean temps are not gonna be as big of a factor. I think, as you think. You're wrapping in colder air. Also, the stronger the system, the more cold air you're gonna wrap in from the north as well. And the heavier snow band you're gonna get a tighter wrap, you're gonna pull up cold air, you're gonna get a heavier system. A lot of this is self-explanatory, I keep repeating myself, but that doesn't become a factor. Now we're talking if you're in and out of the banding, then yeah, you have a chance to switch over to some lighter precipitation. Yeah, North Jersey's in play for this. North Jersey's absolutely in play. North Jersey, um, I don't wanna put a number on it, but, North Jersey's in play for probable snowfall, absolutely. North North Jersey has a good shot to see over 60. I don't wanna say like a really, really good shot right now, but there's North Jersey's got a decent shot at seeing a half foot of snow or more. City, that's where it starts to get complicated. That's where it starts to get complicated. Um, we play this back. At 8:50s, you actually stay cold the whole time. Here's the thing too, right? Something people don't remember with ratios, I hate getting about all these specifics because I love doing well, I don't hate it. I hate doing it right now when we don't when the full picture isn't quite clear on the evolution of the star, right? So at 8:50, notice you're staying cold the whole time, staying cold the whole time, right? But at the surface, it's what happens around 9:25 at the surface is when you switch to the surface temps. But again, my point is these come in more, these slide down farther, wrap this tighter to the coast. This is also 84, so this is probably closer to towards the end of the storm. Right, and that's your problem, right? So you're below, but you're at the surface, you're about upper 30s in New York City, and that's your problem. So under those heavy, heavy bands of snow, and that's why you want stronger system, and so you can get heavy bands of snow, and even though your ratios might stink a little bit, at least you're getting snow. And if you're dumping snow and it's still like 7 to 8 to 1 ratios, you still pick up an inch in half an hour if you're really dumping. And you get that for a couple hours, and then you get some moderate snow for a few more hours outside of that, and then maybe some light snow. That's how you can stack up, 4, 5, 6 inches of snow in New York City. Right, but New York City is not in play to get double-digit snowfall, I think, in this system. Yeah, there's a real high-end scenario where I guess it's technically possible, but it's very much a long shot for New York City to get any double digits with this system. New London, Connecticut. Yeah, I can pretty talked about that area, but I think, you're getting a little bit close to the water, so you have some rise in temperature, a little bit more from the interior, but just same thing with New York City. You're dumping heavy snow, and also you get a little bit further north in latitude, that is not gonna matter as much. When you're dumping snow, it does not become a problem, alright? And in order to get this right, you just want a tight layer. Crap, nope, not what I wanted. Here's what I want, and I want slide. Actually, what I want is the slide to the northeast. The interface is hard on this. I mean, you have so many options, you have so many more things you can look at, but interface is a little rough on this. And so notice the Euro, 12Z. So notice the Euro, when you look on the Euro here, notice how it takes a little bit more time to wrap this up here. Um, so you look at 12Z versus 0Z. Notice how more tightly wrapped it is, and then we look at the temperatures as well. Take a look. We look like we need. Nope, you see it? You see the difference here on 12Z to 0Z? 12Z, 0. Right, so the difference you see there is it's just right. It's not necessarily further tightly wrapped. It's more tightly wrapped, so you can pull in more cold air, and you're also gonna get heavier snow as a result for more people, and that's how you maximize the potential of this system. No, no. See, northwest of New York City, um, may be the jackpot, but just based on this run, if we're to verify, we could get some decent snowfall. Yeah, just northwest of the city could be a really good spot. Southern Hudson Valley, um, facing away from the ocean could be a really good spot for the storm. Similar to north, you're in the same boat as North Jersey, and you're a little bit further east. Or if you're in East Jersey as well, you're tucked into that corner. But have the potential, this part right here, um, this Connecticut's in a better spot, I think, for this one. That southwest corner of Connecticut. That is in a spot, um, that could do really well with this system. But now in here, right, you have a good opportunity to get 4 to 8 inches. You have a good opportunity with a 6 to 12 ceiling, I think. it's very much at play. There is a scenario where I could see the potential for a little bit more if we really saw some rapid changes, and we really saw that, we really see our low reps, we see H5 reps and that could really, make things a lot more interesting, but, that's a little bit out of reach potentially, given how close we are and the changes you would need to see. So, it's possible. I've seen crazier changes before, just something to keep in mind, right? But just in general, I think a lot of these places have a good opportunity, at least 4 to 8 inches of snow, and then with, I would draw another swath in here, a pretty large one, favor Southern New even more, just because 'cause they'll have more time to work with the better banding, right? Have a good opportunity for 6 to 12. And then maybe back here too, as well into the mountains, I guess you can maybe go back into there, and then in between that, there's an opportunity for maybe more snow, right? That's a specific that's not my forecast, but get a gun to my head and a general range, that's kinda where I feel right now, and there's an opportunity, to get some potentially bigger totals than that, but you'd have to from there, you're just pinpointing where exactly the heaviest of that band sets up, if it was here or if it was here, or maybe you get a really interior band, it would be up here or something. There's an opportunity for totals greater than 12, potentially, or potentially. I don't wanna go out on a limb and make a forecast, I don't need to right now, but those are some of my general thoughts in terms of snowfall. Um, as of now, again, it will be when it does fall, it'll probably be heavy. If you're accumulating like that in those areas, it'll probably be a heavier snow, right? And I'm not talking wetter, I'm just talking it'll when it falls, it'll be heavy, right? You'll probably go from moderate to heavy fast, and then you'll probably the end of the storm, you'll go to moderate and then quickly go to light, and then your storm will be over, which may not be the same for Eastern New England. I've officially given up hope for for snow in South Jersey, just outside really better luck in February. There'll be some I think there'll be some more chances here in January. I wouldn't give up too badly yet, but, um, this is not South Jersey storm. This is not South Jersey storm. I know a lot of Mid-Atlantic people got excited, but this is not South Jersey storm. Both Maine and cold, yeah. They get cold. It's a good cold air source. I think some people are underestimating. A lot of people are liking to focus on the temperatures right now, but it's a pretty good cold air source to work with. It's just not there's not a deep, deep Arctic injection that's gonna be there the whole time. That's just the thing. It's there eventually, but it's just not a deep Arctic injection the whole time from the system. But still, I mean, there's a lot to like. Are the Jets out? I'd be curious to see that. But there been Jets, I just haven't seen them. Oh, wait. Alright, quieter in there, that's fine by me. Um, I want the Jets, so I'm gonna go to maps, and I'm gonna go to Canadian ensembles. Okay, yeah, yeah, we're cooking. We're global continental, and then we'll go to United States of America. So we'll fly back a little bit here. 500. It's harder on 500 um, on the ensembles, but gives you a decent idea. I mean, there's still a lot to like there, right? It just pushes right, pushes us a little bit further north. But I mean, I like the interaction, right? It just gets this gets caught going a little bit too far on a lot of this. Oh, switch back. There we go. I mean, there's some things to like here. There's no major changes, but I like the overall look at that. I don't know what this is gonna look like, but we can take a look at these. Um, there we go. Right? I mean, it's a little bit further north maybe than its last run. Well, we already determined that, or maybe not. It's about the damn same. But that's a really large area. It just has that rain snow line just a little bit farther north for a lot of these runs, but that's a pretty wide swath of probabilities for over 3 inches of snow. 6, I mean, those are really good probabilities for a lot of people to see. I mean, we had 100% for 6, 90 to 100% for over 6 inches of snow up in southern Hudson Valley, and even back into PA too. Right? So I mean, you guys got to remember, right? It's not where you are now. It's what the model is showing, and what you can take from that information. Understand where you're going to be 72 hours from now, or right before the storm, and the storm's coming. Right. All that matters is trying to piece all the information that the models are giving us together to figure out what's going to happen. Now, what you see on Twitter a lot is you see a lot of people posting and making the forecast seem like it's the models that are happening right now. That's the forecast, and people assume the current forecast is the end all be all forecast, and yet they see a change, and yet they still expect, or at least their reaction suggests, it's gonna be the same run, or it's gonna be the same, and it's just not that's just not gonna happen. So I hope people understand that, why I do what I do, my reason I post, and how I operate here on Twitter and YouTube, I guess technically call myself a YouTuber, is to figure out what's going to be the end result and what are the models showing me right now, and what is that going to be for end result. I'm streaming Euro. I might do another. I might post another video tonight, like a 5-minute video breaking down the Euro. Um, I could do that, but no, I'll be hopping off in a little bit. But keep posting whatever questions you guys got. Um, keep posting whatever questions you got. Drop the questions you got right now. I'll answer all you guys' questions right now. Whatever just come to your mind with this system, drop them. I'll see. I might have missed one earlier, so I'll take a look. If someone is watching this back. Philly. I didn't answer that Philly's person question. So Philly is complicated as well. I think Philly's really complicated. Philly has an opportunity for and just the opportunity to see. It wouldn't shock me seeing half foot. It's a broad range, but do have an opportunity to cash in semi well. But I do have a concern about their Jesus, 54 to 148 kind of NBA games they play. Jeez. But my point is, Philly is what a stutter. My point is, Philly is complicated with this system. Again, I could see anywhere between less than an inch of snow and like 7 inches of snow with Philly. How's Bronx looking? Uh, I went over New York City a little bit. So the good news is just north. I think Bronx. Actually, New York City suburbs better, but I think so. But regardless, I mean that's a 5 mile difference. So it remains a lot of the same. Is New York City? New York City, I could see anywhere from like a half inch of it's almost the same forecast for Philly. I could see anywhere from like a half inch of snow to 8 inches of snow. You have a really complicated. I don't see there being an opportunity to get double-digit snowfall in the Bronx or New York City as of right now. That could be swayed some there, but it would just take a lot of changes. That's why I'm not moved, to see that. So I think an opportunity for 1 to I think maybe 1 to 7 is half inch to 7 is your range, which sucks, but that's the range I have right now. Yeah, complicated, but it really all depends on the evolution and where we consolidate H5. That's really what this all is gonna come down to. Alright, if you got any more questions, reach out on Twitter. I'll be do a video maybe for the Euro. And until then, I appreciate everybody coming on the stream. We'll stream again tomorrow. Anything crazy happens in my life, but, until then, I appreciate everybody that came in, and I'll see you on Twitter until next